Be a good little fella now and open the door.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Well, 3 days have passed, and we have 25 more days until Christmas. And thankfully for that, we're done with the Rankin Bass specials. That's right, we have officially concluded the Rankin Bass Strikes Back. And we'll jump into the new marathon, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Or at least, get to whenever I'm done reviewing these last 3 videos here. So, there's actually 2 I like, and one I just never understood. But first, let's get to the last one. It's Inside This Year Without Santa Claus. Much like Rudolph's Shiny New Year, this special is not included on any other DVD. It was released individually on VHS, but never had its own DVD. It's like the main 4. The Little Drummer Boy, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. They all get their own Blu-ray releases. Well, specials like this are just left in the dust because they think people are going to forget this. Well, Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey is the third the third movie with inside this box set. Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey is actually a really good short. Not only is it probably one of my new favorite specials from Rankin Bass, but it's actually kind of better than what I first expected out of the thing. Basically, Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey is about, of course, a donkey that had long ears. Very long ears that had actually drooped down to the floor, and whenever he walked on them, he trips. Everyone sort of made him as an outcast, much like Rudolph and the Happy New Year and the New Year Baby. Which, New Year Baby, if you've forgotten, is Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Also in this box set. But overall, it's really interesting to see, like, the characters go through a lot of, like, deep characterization and process they go through for this, particular special. For Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey. But, of course, this is a really good special. What happens to Nestor is that, unfortunately, he gets kicked out of the barn, he loses his mother in the snow, not by off-screen gun shooting, you know, like in Bambi, but more of actually literally dying from sitting in snow for too long. An angel comes to Nestor and shows him the way to a place near Bethlehem where Joseph and Mary, yes, this actually does take place around the time of the birth of the Lord, they ultimately take him in as their animal to take them to Bethlehem. Ultimately, he helped them get through the snow and everything and all that, and everything's gone peachy keen from that point. And Nestor became a legend up in the North Pole, as Santa uses at least an incarnation of Nestor for pulling some of the toys into the sleigh. Next, at least that's done with it. At least we're done with this set now. Because I jump back and forth between these two. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, The Year Without a Santa Claus, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, and then followed by Rudolph's Shiny New Year. It's an insane order to go through, man. But I think it's well worth it. Next we have, I believe not like one of the best specials from Rankin Bass. Now, there are some people that said, are you a big Rankin Bass fan or not? I mean, obviously over the year, I was young, so obviously I watched these specials every year, so I was when I was young. But, you've seen what I'm into. I'm into films, I'm into games, music, MLP. I love this stuff. But obviously today was the day that marked a black sheep for me. For I sat and saw Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. I ain't Russian. And it's just not one of the best specials. Basically, Sorcerer Winterbolt. So, sort of the story takes place like, after the times of both the Frosty and Rudolph and Santa Claus is coming to town stories. Except, here's my main problem with this. You know how they always make the stop-motion puppets? I mean, it's easy to make, like, the Santa Claus puppet. I mean, I know that's a little bit easy, because you could actually have it switch out the various expressions. However, with Frosty, they were just so cheap that, look at this. They have him smiling, which distracts from the movie. Like, if there's a big, giant, like, moment where he sacrifices himself, he's just like, "Yep, I'm perfectly fine with that. Here, take my hat." And it's like, then why are you smiling? Or maybe when you're starting to get into the depressed thing, like, there's the fireworks going off in this movie, he's still, he's got that smile on his face. Or at least he knows he's happy while dying. I mean, I want that out of the character. It's almost like that, the emotionless guy from Blood Rain, where he shows no emotions, especially when he's getting stabbed. It's like nothing affects the guy. But it is actually kind of good to see Mickey Rooney in this, though he's not on screen very much. Essentially, Rudolph's nose is glowing out, is starting to fade out. He has a couple of problems, and one of the ice cream guys from circus essentially comes in to pick up a couple of quarts of ice cream to use for the circus he works at. He wants to go and date someone that he's met at the circus, but unfortunately there's a situation going on where the female owner of the circus, where the male is trying to steal the circus from the owner of the circus, which is a she. And so basically Rudolph and Frosty decide to go in and just spend the summer inside of a circus. And there's like a subplot where he winds up deciding to steal Rudolph's power from him by having him do something from a reindeer that conned him, which was never mentioned in the special, and I don't think it was ever written, and because I honestly found this special to be really ridiculous and something I could care less about. And in the long run, he officially winds up telling the truth to them, as in a weird twist of events, the circus owner decides to feed him the corn feed that the reindeers use to fly around. Yeah, you think like other specials. What are some specials you think that makes reindeers fly? Can they fly by themselves? Do they fly by magic dust? Like in Peter Pan? Well, no, it's magic corn feed. Interesting story, but again, different telling. But it just blows me out of my mind that Rankin Bass would ever decide to do something like this. I mean, it's not worth the time, and definitely, just skip it. I mean, enjoy the other specials, just don't enjoy that. Alright? And then finally, we have, the first time I'm viewing this, Jack Frost. Now, I actually do like it. I mean, this is the first special that actually has one of my favorite Mad World comedians, Buddy Hackett, that's actually singing and narrating the story. He plays a groundhog named Pardon Me Pete. Essentially, it tells the origin story about Jack Frost, how he stops this evil king who is sort of like this Prince John-ish type of guy who carries around like this animatron, like this sort of lifeless, robotic, like, puppet with him that he talks to. There were a couple of funny moments here and there, but of course this was around the time where I was trying to get the Christmas tree down, because, you know, wherever the timer is, whatever the clock is on your desktop or laptop or phone, whatever, you'll realize what time it is. I mean, it's the last day of November, so you gotta pack the tree, you gotta get the tree stuff down, alright? But essentially what happens is that Jack Frost wants to live with the humans. He has to complete a couple of tasks to be with the humans, but unfortunately he has a limit, up to, I believe, February. It's really hard to keep track of this, especially when trying to get stuff out of the closet. But anyways, he winds up trying to date the girl, but obviously he changes his name from Jack Frost to Jack Snips. Winds up running a retail store for a tailor shop, which everyone likes, while they're off to defeat the Knights in the most goofy way you could ever think of in a Rankin Bass special. There's too much to talk about in this, so if you ever get a chance, or maybe it's even on YouTube, I don't know, get a chance to go see this. It's actually a real interesting special. Alright, that concludes all of the Rankin Bass specials that are on video and DVD. I'm sorry if I missed a couple of them, but again, I'm limited to 28 days, and besides that, I try to figure out if I can plan these in advance. But overall, here are the final ratings for all three of these. Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey. Rating, I found it pretty magnificent, and overall it's a real fun film. Definitely worth showing the kids. So overall final rating is 8 out of 10. Rudolph's and Frosty's Christmas in July. I did enjoy this special. It felt like a little bit of an eternity watching this, and I really don't see myself coming back to this. So, I would say it's a meh, so 3 out of 10. As for Jack Frost, it near gets 100%. It's nearly 100% in every good way that this special is, and really, I highly recommend this. But not towards the people that dislike Rankin Bass and all that. With that said, the rating for Jack Frost, 8 out of 10. The usual Toonami rating for video games, much like Watch Dogs. Now that we've gotten past all of this, it's time that we dive into a new category of holiday films, the remakes. Whether it be remaking the classic Rankin Bass specials, or just an interesting retelling of the exact same, or just an interesting retelling of A Christmas Carol, or maybe taking a classic Dr. Seuss story. No matter what it is, it's time that we take a look at the remakes, and a new category I like to call a new remakes. Stay tuned tomorrow for a brand new episode of the Ferbguy's 28 Days of Christmas 2, The Saga's Electric Boogaloo. And stay tuned for the new category of marathons known as a new remake. I'm the Ferbguy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and one last thing. Whoever is the one that's literally deciding to spam the comments saying whatever holiday that you're saying, stop, okay? I'll get to my holiday whatever by the time it nears the 25th of December. So, that's like a couple of weeks from now. Alright? See you guys.